everybody, how you doing? Welcome to part 2 of the secret superpower of single paradiddles. So what we're going to do really today, and because I just have to work on it, is show you how you can do this exercise. The same one I did in part 1. If you haven't seen part 1, I'm going to link to it in the description. See part 1, get good at that first. That's leading with your strong hand. I'm lefty, I lead with my left. You're righty, you lead with your right. So, what a week it's been. What a week. Car went kablooey. It's like in a repair shop for 7 days. I walked 5 miles to work and 5 miles back every day. And that's Workers Guitar Center. I teach there. My God. And then, you know, getting old. Right in the middle of my walk yesterday, just a pain in my knee. Oh my goodness, like, because I'm 60. Anyway, so I get a little sidetracked, a little ADD, or ADGD, AD Glenn's D, I don't know. Anyway, so part 1 is all about going forward from your strong hand, your left or right, depending if you're left-handed or right-handed, and you're leading that way, but then when you keep going in today's, you're going to see this thing naturally can turn around. We make the exercise twice as long and we lead with our weak hand. For me, it's my right. What's hard about that is when we come back, we need to have our snare and our bass drum with our weak hand locked in. I'm going to say this a couple times in this video because if you can lock in, now I lock in very easily with my strong hand, my left and my foot. I lock in most of the time with my right and my bass drum. Most of the time I can lock in. Once in a while you're doing these crazy paradiddles, I notice, oh my God, you know, I can hear it's a little not perfect. Takes a second to get really good at it. You know, it's not like doing 4 on the floor and boom, ba, boom, ba. That's easy. This gets a little difficult. And that's what I discovered, was that it was much harder to lock in as perfectly leading this with my weak hand. And I don't think I'm special in either way. I don't think I have necessarily special skills that make me, oh, magically great, or, you know, not special skills that make me magically bad. I think these are normal things that we would go through. So you really got to work on it. So look at part 1, then come back and do part 2 with me. But hit that like button and share it because this is a really good exercise. A really good exercise that will get you locked in. I'm going to say this over and over. When you're locked in with yourself, completely, every which way but loose, you're locked in with yourself, and the bass player, the guitar player, the singer, keyboard, horns, whatever, can lock in with you. And if the band is locked in, even if the tempo picks up a bit, pulls back a bit, you sound great. This was the Beatles' success. The Beatles were locked into each other. Locked in. Ringo's time was very, very good, but it wasn't perfect. But they locked in. And he talks about how he would pick it up for guitar solos a little bit. They were locked in. They were a team. They were a unit. Anyway, without further ado, let's go right to it right now. The Drum Mission Drum Laboratory. All right, boys and girls. All right, all right, all right. I'll tell you. I'm getting older, guys. I'm getting older. I'm 60 years old. I'm just getting older, getting older, getting older. I feel like when you're 22 years old and an hour goes by, it feels like you aged 20 minutes. Now that I'm 60, an hour goes by, it's like I've aged 3 days. That's how I'm feeling lately. All right.
Well, what's happening?
The aging process has stopped. His bodily functions are getting stronger.
I think too, I'm not gigging as much. It's winter here in Michigan, and that always makes me feel better when I gig a lot. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But here we are with part 2 of the secret superpower of single paradiddles. I think that's what I called it. I don't remember because I'm old. All right. In part 1, which you really need to watch, I'm going to link it in the description. We're talking about the single paradiddle. We're breaking it up between the hi-hat and the snare. The single paradiddle is, and you should know this by now, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. If you're left-handed, you might start it left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. So what we did in the part 1 was we displace it. We do a bar starting from the 1, the next bar starts from the E, and then the next bar the and the next bar the duh. Let me show you. 1 E and right, that's my paradiddle. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E. So there's my extra 16th note on 1. Now I'm starting the next batch on the E. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E. There's my extra 16th. E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and my extra 16th note on the that last and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, and that's where we left off. So what happens if we, now in part 2 here, if you continue this exercise, and that's what this is, an exercise, although it is applicable, pieces of it are applicable in your grooves and stuff, and I demonstrated that in my little drum intro, solo, whatever you want to call it, which, you know, I'm just taking from the other guy. A lot of the other guys do that, so I'm doing it too. I don't like it as long. Like even I think Rob Brown's a great player. Even when he does it, I end up, you know, I watch a little bit of it and then I fast forward to see what he had to say. I want to watch 3 minutes of him playing for. I want to see what he's teaching me. You know, I can play good too. So, all right. So that's my thing. I'm doing shorter versions. Okay. So once we get to that turnaround of 1, now we are leading with our non-dominant hand, right? Is that what you call it? Or weak hand, whatever you want to call it. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you have to do that, it is a little trickier. It is a little trickier to lead these with your non-dominant hand, especially when we add our feet. Because for me, since I'm left-handed, my right hand doesn't often play together with my bass drum. What I found as I was working these up, really, just this past week or two, this half of it, I always had the first half going. I never really worked on the second half. I just discovered it. When I continued, I realized that there were some discrepancies. You know, some of the weird little displacements wasn't laying in perfect with my feet once I got to the second half, and I had to work on it. I still don't think I have it perfect, but I want to do it for you anyway because we're in this together, folks. We're in this together. I learn, you learn, I learn from you, you learn from me, all that stuff.
What one man can do, another can do.
You can't kill the bear, Charles. He's ahead of us all the time. It's like he's reading our minds. He's stalking us, for God's sakes.
So let's do, excuse me, I'm always eating before I do these things. All right, let's do this. Starting on 1 from our non-dominant hand, right on the snare, watch. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and right, so far it's just the exact opposite of what we just did, right? 4 E and 1 E. So now I'm starting with that E right here. E and 2, E and 3, E and 4, E and 1, E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So now that last duh is on my snare. And 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. And now I'm back to 1 off my dominant hand. So it cycles around, which means you can loop this whole thing. It is a really good exercise that I just came up with accidentally. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure Gad and Weckel and all these guys do this all the time. So let me run it down cohesively for you with just my hands, a little quicker, without stopping, so you can see. And then we'll do it with the metronome, from a beat to a beat, the whole bit. Actually, we'll throw a bass drum in there before. All right.
Don't ever do that again. Sorry.
All right, here we go. Just the hands, a little more cohesive, the whole thing. Not too fast, you know, not much faster than we just did it, but a little faster. Here we go. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and the 4E and the 1 and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E and a 1E and 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E and the E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E, the 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. And you know, I think during that I went to the and a beat early. It doesn't really matter if you do that or not. It's okay. Whatever's comfortable, whatever happens at the moment is fine because it's going to stay, you know, no matter when you go there, it's going to stay synchronistic. I don't even know if that's the right word. You know, doing these videos, I realize I so don't know anything about the English language. Like, you realize, did I ever go to school? Even one time? Alright. Anyway, you know, it was like 400 years ago. Alright, let's do it again now. Let's do it with adding the feet on 1 and 3. And here's what's tricky. Like I said, when you keep that bass drum 1 and 3, doing the bass drum on all 4 is actually easier. If you want to start that way, that's cool, but the bass drum 1 and 3, especially when it turns around off the dominant hand, off the non-dominant hand, tricky, much harder. Let's give it a go. I'm going to count this in. Here we go. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. There you go. There you go, right? All the way through, top to bottom, nice and slow. All right. Guys, I hope you're getting something out of this. You got to work on it. This kind of stuff is going to give you more facility. Hey, you guys got any facility? I'm looking to score some facility. You know, you got some? You got a bag? Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing. So, facility. The more facility you have with your hands, because think about it, extrapolate. If you did that on the bell of cymbal, between tom-toms, you got little bits of solos, you know, and then kind of let it sink in your body so you can kind of pull little bits of that out when you need to. And again, you'll lock in with yourself. Your weak hand, your non-dominant will be locked in with your foot. Your dominance locked in with your foot. All of that begins to happen. Again, I'm going to say it again and again and again. When you are locked in with yourself, non-dominant, dominant, all of it locked in, then the bass player finds it easy to lock in with you. And then the guitar player can lock in with you guys. And the keyboards and horns and singers and all that stuff. So this is what it's going to be. Anyway, by the way, you know, I used to do this New Year's Eve gig with this guy named Paradiddle. He was the voice of You Got My Baby Back, Baby Back, Baby Back. That guy, Chili's. Anyway, he passed away during COVID. And I kind of lost my steady New Year's Eve gig. My phone was doing something. I don't know. Anyway, so if anybody's got a New Year's Eve gig anywhere, and I can at least break even if I got to travel somewhere, even Florida, I would love it in Florida. Give me a call. I'll be happy to do it. So, when you are locked in, this will give you the kind of facility you need to become a great player. So, let's wrap this up. Please subscribe, support the channel, all that cool stuff. I don't know why I say be right back, because it really doesn't matter to you, right? I have to do some setup, but you're not going to see that stuff. Anyway, we're going to run it down from a beat, do the exercise, back to a beat, and have some fun. I'll see you.
Up, and away!
Hey, are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go for the rundown. I'm at 115 beats a minute. I think I figured out a way for you to hear the metronome. Not because that's working any better, but because, you know, I got a brain. Not very big, but I got a brain up here, and I figured a workaround. All right. All right. So here we go. 115 beats a minute. Straight down. Straight down. We're going to do a beat, groove a little bit, do the exercise, back to a beat, and out. See you on the next one.